Yeah, all right. Well, I spoke to Brian for about 20 minutes the other day, but we really had a bad connection towards the end, so I kind of lost it for the last 5 minutes. So all it is, can you hear me? Can you hear me? So I kind of cut it dead after that, but it gets to just to the point. Yeah, I got a little Thin Lizzy talking, a little Motorhead talking. So how about you guys just sit back and I'll play that interview right now, and we'll see what happens if Jamie calls in after that, because it's not a long one.
Sounds good.
All right, Alex, hang on, buddy. Here you go. This is an interview with Brian Robertson from Thin Lizzy and Motorhead. Okay, that's not Brian Robertson. It's actually Brian Robertson's song off the new solo record. I was going to play that afterwards, but we'll get the interview on first. I'm going backwards today, huh? All right, here you go. Here's Brian Robertson.
Hello.
Hey, Brian, it's Mike from Heavy Metal Mayhem. How are you?
Hey, how are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. It's really nice to talk to you today.
Sorry, you probably called a couple of minutes ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I tried calling. I was having trouble with the PIN number. I tried getting you directly.
No, it wasn't that. It was I was still on the phone to an FM radio station. I've only got 20 minutes for every single interview, and I've got about 18 to do here. So
I know it's rough, man.
It's backed up, you know.
I know. It happens. So for 20 minutes, I'm gonna ask you the same questions you've been answering all day, and then you'll be ready for the next group.
All right, go for it.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm excited that you got a brand new album out, and especially a solo record. I've been a big fan of yours going back to the Wild Horses days, so it's really good to hear some music by you again.
Oh, thank you very so much. Very kind.
Anytime. So Diamonds and Dirt's the brand new record, and it's actually a lot of old songs that you've kind of dug up over the years and putting out for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, I did it's a sort of combination of a lot of stuff that a lot of solo stuff that I'd done, you know, sort of demos of over the years, which I just found in a plastic bag while roofing through equipment and stuff, you know. So it's it's kind of it's a weird mix.
But it's some good stuff, and it goes back from the Lizzy days to everything that you, I guess, were working on in all the years after that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff, it spans quite a long period, actually. You know, like I say, I've gone back and I've done It's Only Money and Running Back from the Lizzy days, but there was also stuff that was written during the period after Wild Horses, you know, and when I had the band together with the drummer from the Cult, and you know, just all sorts of different sessions, which I didn't realize I had all these tapes for. So it was kind of eye opener to go back and listen to those things, and I just thought, oh, okay, they're not bad songs, but we need, you know, obviously need working on. A lot of them were written on keyboards.
Oh, okay.
So obviously had to transpose them to guitar rock sort of thing, you know.
Sure, and I noticed that you put two versions of Running Back on the album, the old Lizzy song.
Yeah, so it was quite fun, actually.
Yeah, that's different. Nobody's ever done that before.
Well, exactly. That's half the reason I did it. I mean, the whole thing was, right, I didn't record this album to sell anything. I'm just really surprised that anybody's interested in it. And the interest has just blown me away. You know, I mean, I've spent the past 2 months doing interviews and stuff, you know. And I recorded it for myself. You know, we had no record company or anything, you know. We recorded it in our own studios, our friends' studios. So there was no record company backing, and there was no pressure to do anything that the sort of record company wanted or anything. And I just recorded and mixed it and produced it the way I wanted it. And by the way, it is my production. It's not what it says on the record.
Okay.
Misprints. Okay. Soren is the executive producer. Chris is the engineer.
Okay.
I'm the producer and arranger. Okay, let's get that out of the way. So I just did it for myself, really. And I'm kind of freaked at the amount of interest there is, and the fact that SPV are involved as well now. They're pretty on it, I'm just kind of like thinking, God, Jesus, I remember this. I'm more involved in, my own record company in Stockholm and producing people and finding new bands than I am in, and doing sessions than I am in my own stuff. And all of a sudden I've got to deal with all this. So it's a bit weird. It's nice and flattering, but it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's getting back into the fun of it again. And, you've been a fan favorite going back to the Lizzie days and then joining Motorhead. And one of the things I think that the fans love about you is that you're very outspoken about the music and how you feel. And I'm sure that's caused you problems in the bands that you've been in, butting heads with, different band members. But you stand by what you believe in and how the music should sound. I think that's why everybody appreciates you and your music, and they're glad to have you back with something new.
Well, I hope that's the case, because you're entirely correct as far as my attitude towards the music is concerned. I do butt heads with people. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, I like that when I don't like it. If I think it should be done another way, then I'm going to bring that up, Whereas with this album, I didn't have to butt heads with anybody, because all the people in my band are just totally brilliant, and we're all old friends and we're family, and that's the way it's going to stay, And I don't have any arguments with anybody. The odd sort of spat with Soren from time to time, because me and him don't always see eye to eye,
Yeah.
But that's I see spats like that as a good thing, not a bad thing.
Oh, exactly. It's going to bring out the best in the music, and that's why we appreciate everything. When you joined Motorhead back in the 80s, I thought that was such a strange fit, because I just couldn't see you playing with them. And then the album came out, and a lot of fans just weren't crazy about it. But I don't know if you follow it today, but today's fans are saying that's one of the best Motorhead records to come out at the time. 20-something years later, they actually get it now, and they appreciate the sound.
Yeah, it took a while, didn't it? I mean, look, I went out to help them on an American tour because Eddie had left them in the shit, basically. He'd had enough, so he legged it, and they were friends of mine, so I went out to help them out. And then after I'd done the tour, they sort of asked me to join the band, and I said, well, I will, but believe me, when we go in the studio, it's not going to be the same, because I'm not going to play that,
Yeah.
We need to write a new album and and so on. I had a lot to do with the production on that as well. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of the album. I thought it was a good album.
Yeah.
It wasn't your typical Motorhead, but that's what I didn't want it to be.
Yeah, but the fans, they really appreciate it. They get it today. They hear it. I guess at the time it was rough, too, because like you said, it's the first album after Eddie Clark leaves the band. Motorhead have, like, these diehard fans who's, like, live and breathe by them. So you were kind of put in a rough position at that time also. But it's something that, I've enjoyed the record since it came out, and, I can appreciate it more today.
Yeah. I mean, I've listened to it, fairly recently, and to sort of compare it to what I've been doing. What's that bloody voice coming in my ear?
I think it's at the time of counting down on the recording, but nobody can hear it but you and I.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it should stop in a couple of seconds.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was in a bit of a rough position there, and a lot of the fans didn't appreciate the way I spoke or, what I said about the music or whatever. But as you say, I'll stick by my guns. It's a good album, and that's the way I want to record it, and that's the way it was done.
Definitely. And I noticed on the record, you worked with Frankie Miller for a long time, and you've got some of the tracks on there from Frankie Miller.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the whole vibe of the Frankie Miller thing is it goes back to me playing live with Frank, for so long with such a good band, Simon Kirk from Bad Company and that,
Yeah.
And that's kind of the vibe that's on this album. And so, it's like due to we drop. I wrote a whole new section for that, which is why it says Barry Robertson on it. And I just love playing his stuff, but I play it totally differently to how he had it on record.
Yeah.
But he loves it, and he loved it live. So I thought, well, let's get that on record then, because it's a really good sort of kind of Bad Company, bluesy sound,
Yeah.
It fits the record, so,
Yeah, definitely. And talking about live, are you going to be able to get out with the new band and start doing some shows or getting around?
Well, it's very difficult. I'm going to do some press because to put these guys together all in one place at one time is very difficult because they're all on their own projects and stuff.
Yeah.
So to do there would be probably legit. I'm not sure, but the festival thing might be a thing. I've already done one gig with them in Dublin, and they were just unbelievable. What a band,
Yeah.
The best band I played with in, donkey's years.
That sounds great, man. And I know this is just out, the album is just coming out now. People are just going to start getting a chance to hear it. But you think you're going to keep active with it now and, put out some new stuff as we go along?
Hello?
Yeah, Brian, can you hear me? Brian,
barely.
I don't know. Yeah, what I was saying is, are you going to be able to keep active now with the solo stuff and keep putting out new music?
I'm breaking up with an echo.
I'm sorry, Brian. I don't know if you can hear me or not now.
Yeah, we lost connection with Brian there. We had bad cell phone connection, but we got a lot in there. We got to the bulk of it and the gist of it. And he's got a great new solo record out called Diamonds and Dirt. And I might get the title track on for you right now. Here's a little Brian Robertson for you.